If you've been trying to create that diffused, glowy look to your footage or images, but you don't want to pay for any plugins or special effects, stick around. I'm going to show you how you can do that on just about any editing platform. My name's Brendan, and today we're going to be talking about how to create that glow effect or that diffused look that you get from like mist filters, and some programs out there like DaVinci Resolve have the built-in glow effect that does a pretty good job. But maybe you're using something like Final Cut and the glow effect in Final Cut does not work very well, and you want to create that certain look just to make the image feel a little softer. I'm going to show you how you can do that on any platform. I use this on Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Final Cut, and I do it in DaVinci as well. I'm going to walk you through how I do it on Final Cut, and hopefully that'll give you a good idea. And then I'll also show you on DaVinci Resolve how I do it on there. All right, so we're here in Final Cut Pro, and I've got two clips I'm going to use as an example to show you how to do this. Now, it's super easy with one clip. It's got one more step in it if you want to do multiple clips and titles and things like that. And if that is the case, what I recommend doing is highlighting your entire timeline and making a copy of that and then creating that into a compound clip. I've actually done that already here. I've created my compound clip right next to my timeline of these two clips, and I'm just going to drag that on top of everything else here. Now what we're going to do is on that top clip, we are going to put the Gaussian blur effect on it. And once we have that effect on there, we're going to adjust the amount we want of that blur to the desired result. And we can also go back and do this later, but basically the amount of blur we're getting is going to be the spread of the glow effect. So I usually put this all the way to max, all the way up to 100, and I usually add some blur boost to it. It's usually between 1 and 2, so I'm going to leave it right about there. That's about how much I like. Then we are going to go to the compositing, or the blend mode in the compositing. Now you can go one of two ways here. You can use screen or you can use add. There's probably some other modes you can use as well, but those are the two I generally gravitate to. Add, what it does is it actually adds more to your highlights. So it brightens them up. A lot of times if you add this without any Gaussian blur, it blows out your highlights. So I like to add this one, and I like to use add, and this one seems to work really well to add a little bit more of that glow effect. Now, as you can see, we can look through the upper clip and see the clip below it now, and it's got that glow effect on it. And this is pretty much to maximum effect on here. This is 100% opacity. We can adjust the intensity of this effect by reducing the opacity, because this is a bit too much for me personally. So I'm going to bring this all the way down, and usually somewhere around 4 to 5% is just how I like it. It is very subtle, and it just adds that glowy filmic feel to it. It is very subtle. And as you can tell, I can turn the clip off and on right here, and especially in the shadowy areas, you can see that it adds a little something. And of course, if you want more of an effect, you can bring this up, and as I turn the clip on and off, you can see the glow effect taking place. So that's how to do it in Final Cut, and this same concept can be used in pretty much any other editing software. Let's go ahead and jump into DaVinci and take a look at how to do it in Resolve. So here we are now in the color page of DaVinci Resolve, and it's sort of the same concept. It just looks a little bit different on DaVinci, and it can be a little bit confusing. Basically what I did here is I created a node tree. So Option S adds a new node, and then Option L will layer that node. So from my first LUT conversion here, I added a new node and then layered it, and then I added another one after that just so it looks a little more normal there. So this top one, you'll just leave that alone, and this bottom one, we will add the Gaussian blur effect to it. And then you can adjust the strength from here. So usually around 0.6, 0.7 is where I end up staying on DaVinci Resolve. We'll close out those effects. And then your blend mode, or the way you composite, is going to be in here. You right click on the layered module there, and you go to composite mode, and you can go to add, or again, you can go to screen. So I'm going to show you what screen looks like now. Screen doesn't really brighten the highlights, kind of just keeps them where they're at. And then from here, you can click on your layered node, and you can go to your curves, and you can adjust the highlights right here, and that will adjust the effect, basically the opacity of that upper layer. Now, some people, what they like to do from here also is reduce the saturation all the way. This helps if you want to get rid of any colored glow. You can do this in Final Cut as well, but I just thought I'd throw that in there so you know to do that as well if you want to. And then usually somewhere between 0 and this is 20% right here, this tick mark right there. So right about here is usually where I put that glow, and as you can see, we can sort of enable and disable it, and you can see what that's doing to the clip right there. Well, I hope this helps you guys be able to get the look you're going for in your footage a lot easier on any program you're using without any plugins. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.